Townhouses in Calgary have not increased in price as much as I thought they would, considering the sales have outpaced the inventory once again. My name's Adam Fyfe, your Calgary Realtor. If you're looking at getting into the market in 2024, it is super important to look at this data and try to figure out what the market is going to do when you decide to get into it in 6 to 12 months from now, whenever that is. Go ahead, book a call with me. The Zoom link is in the description. I promise I'm pretty easy to talk to. So, townhouses in Calgary did see an increase from last month, equaling $426,400, a $1,300 increase from last month, but a $65,000 increase from last year, almost 20%. The townhouse market, truthfully, has not reached a price of $430,000, which I was anticipating was going to happen last year. So let's dive into it. Now, before we do that, let's remember there are attributes. We do need to remember that townhouses, like every other property type, has attributes for the benchmark price. It's a 2-bedroom upstairs, 2 full bathrooms, 1 half bath, 1,160 square foot, built in 2004. So when you see the benchmark price, just make sure that you're overlapping that. So before we get into it too far, let's read what the Calgary Real Estate Board has written about townhouses, and then we can discuss. Like other property types, new listings and sales rose in January over levels reported last month and last year. However, with 322 new listings and 297 sales, the sales to new listing ratio remained exponentially high at 92%. This combined with 2 further reductions in inventory levels, and the months of supply once again fell below 1 month. Limited supply choice and strong demand contributed to a rise in price. In January, the unadjusted benchmark price reached $426,400, up over last month and nearly 20% higher than levels reported in January 2023. While year-over-year prices are higher in every district, the West and City Center districts saw unadjusted benchmark prices ease slightly over December. Whew. So we'll go back to this chart here. So this chart just showcases the price, the inventory, and the sales. So the price, honestly, I'm quite surprised that it hasn't increased as much as it has. The price has basically stayed stable since October of 2023. But when I'm in this market with current clients today, it is very hard to find a townhouse. The townhouse market is very, very hot, and they go very quick. They usually go pending within the first 24 to 72 hours. So in my personal opinion, I just truthfully anticipated it to continue to go up in price. Now, one of the biggest indicators for us right now is that the sales has outpaced the inventory. So we obviously need to look at new listings at the end of the day to get a full picture, but the inventory levels have fallen below the sales. So that's a strong sign to say that the pricing is most likely going to increase in 2024. So this chart here is just the same information but in written format. So we've got the sales and new listings, the inventory. The days on market dropped down to 30, which is an increase from December. I would imagine we're probably going to drop down to the low 20s like we saw last year. The benchmark price is $426,000 compared to the $356,000 it was last year. The median price is $434,000 and the average price is $439,000. Look at the increases from the median price and the average price compared to the last 3 months of last year and then now. The average price increased by almost $20,000 and the median price increased by like $15,000, $20,000 as well. Yet the benchmark price is not increasing that much yet. So it's pretty wild to see this kind of unfold, because I totally thought when you look at November, the benchmark price was $429,000. I was pretty confident that we were going to hit $430,000. We dropped down to $425,000 and then now we're at $426,000. When are we going to hit $430,000? I would imagine next month, but at this point, it's quite shocking to see how stable the price has been since October. So this here is an indicator of some of the stats for the entire city. So you can see the sales, the year-to-date sales from last year with 209 compared to the 297, a 42% increase. The sales volume last year was 77 million in January. Now this year it's 130 million, almost a 70% increase. New listings increased, which is great. Inventory has dropped, which we knew. Months of supply is at 0.87, which is wild. That is very much a seller's market. Sales to new listing ratio is very high at 92%. The sales to list price is 100.8%, meaning that the majority of homes are getting over list price, again indicating like why is that benchmark price not increasing. Days on market is 30, and then we just touched on the price points here, so we're not really going to dabble on that too much farther. This chart here is just a visualization of where we're at over the last 4 to 5 years. You can see that obviously every single year we've dropped for the inventory levels, indicating a tighter and tighter market. It's unfortunate for a lot of buyers, very good for sellers. When we start to break down the inventory in the months of supply, you can see that we have the row section here for the entire city, every single quadrant. So city center is typically the highest months of supply, but it's actually not that far off from West and East Calgary, which also have just over 1 month of supply. Still very much a seller's market, still very active, but a little bit slower than other quadrants. When you look at places like South, Northwest, and North, you can see that the townhouse market is near 0.5 months, which is very, very busy, indicating that the entire city, or the black bar, is under 1 month of supply. So let's look at some of the attributes, because I think it's really important that people understand this. So the West, if we look at the West attributes for townhouses, it's a 2-bed, 2 full bath, 1 half bath, 1,200 square foot, built in 1996. Okay, so let's look at the Northwest now. The Northwest is a 2 full bed, 2 full bath, 1 half bath, 1,170 square foot, built in 1993. So they're very close in year, but the West quadrant has a bigger, newer unit, okay? So when you start to overlap that onto each other and you start to put the attributes of Northwest and West, clearly the West is going to be more expensive compared to the North. So really, really important that you kind of understand that a little bit when you're looking at benchmark price. Now, this is a year-over-year growth chart. We're not going to touch on this very much. You can see that East Calgary is completely dominating every other quadrant. You can see that Northeast as well as South are all seeing over 20% year-over-year growth, very fast growth. I would imagine we're going to see more growth like that going into 2025, so a full 12 months later. Now, if you're curious of what your townhouse is worth, go ahead. The link is in the description. You can get an instant home evaluation. It's an AI software, super slick. Some partners that I've actually partnered with locally here in Alberta, looking to provide the best amount of value as fast as possible for those who are just curious. You might not be looking to sell, but maybe you want to refinance or something along those lines. Maybe you want to leverage that asset. This AI software will help you get a very quick determination of how much your unit is costing. So, this is the microeconomic breakdown. This is each individual quadrant of Calgary for the townhouse market. You can see the sales, the new listings, the sales and new listing ratio. We've got 3 at or over 100%. Calgary North at 125%. They saw 50 sales and only 40 new listings, clearly indicating a very strong seller's market. If we go all the way to the right here, we look at the months of supply, you can see that they're actually under 0.5 of a month, meaning that if no new listings came on the market, it would take half a month for all of that inventory to be cleared out. So very, very fast moving stuff there. If we actually look at West Calgary, interestingly enough, it's only at 70%, as well as East Calgary. The difference there is West Calgary saw 32 sales, where East Calgary only saw 7 sales. So pretty crazy to see that West Calgary is only seeing 70%. But when you look at the benchmark price for West Calgary, it's a little bit more expensive than other areas in the city. So talking about benchmark price, this is a benchmark. Here's year over year. Here's the month over month, a couple negatives here. So let's reveal this now. So first of all, if we look at last month, so the month of December, we saw a lot of decreases in every single quadrant. The only one that really didn't see a decrease, more of a flatlining, was South Calgary. This month, we saw an increase quite a bit all over the city. Now, City Center still saw a decrease of $6,600, as well as West seeing another decrease of $5,000. But when you look at other places like Northeast, Northwest, which I made a slight error there, as well as Southeast Calgary, which saw a $7,400 increase from last month. Now, pretty wild stuff here. It's very crazy to see that the southeast portion of Calgary saw the biggest increase, which is signaling a very strong seller's market there. So a part of my grammatical errors there, but please work with me as I do these things all on my own, and sometimes the little small mistakes like this are slipped by. Now, I'm going to touch on this every single month. I don't know if I'm going to put this in the beginning of the video or at the end like this, but the townhouse market is pretty hot. So over the last 30 days, there was 109 units sold under ask price, 39 units sold at ask price, and 114 units sold over ask price. This is so vital that I share this information because this is only 30-day data, but there was more sales over ask price than there was under ask price. So it's crazy to me that the benchmark price isn't increasing as fast as it was. Now, I don't have a crystal ball and guessing on what's going to happen, but I'm very confident that the townhouse market is going to be very, very aggressive. If we look at a couple of these things here, just as an example, line 3, it saw 11% over ask price. It was listed at $425 and it sold for $472,000. It was a 2-bed, 3-bath, 1,300 square foot, built in 1979 with a partly finished basement. Now, if we continue to go down, you can see lines 18 and 19, they're also selling at 15 and 13% over list price. Not every community is going to sell like this. The majority are going to sell between 1 to 2 to 5% over list price, but there are some of these aggressive offers being placed. As an example, like again, line 19, 450 sold for 510. In Riverbend, it was a 1994 build, 1,000 square foot, 3 and 3 fully finished basement, $386 for condo fees. So if you're getting into the market, it is very important that you just look at the data. Just look at the data that's going on in the community of interest for you, because yes, it's frustrating, and no, I'm not trying to create fear. I'm trying to showcase what is actually happening in this market so my clients are prepared to make the moves necessary to win the products or to list their products on the market and have expectations rather than going through this whirlwind as a buyer, seller, and investor of the Calgary real estate market. So thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I will reply to them at some point. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.